My brothers and sisters, have you ever faced a moment in life when the whole world seemed to be against you? People doubting you, doors closing in your face, plans falling apart, and then suddenly from nowhere things just changed. Opportunities opened up, hearts softened, and what once felt impossible became reality. You know why? Because when the Almighty says yes, no one, absolutely no one, can ever say no. The power of the Almighty is beyond anything we can ever imagine. When He decides something for you, it is final. It cannot be overturned, changed, or stopped by any force in existence. People might plan against you, they might try to shut doors in your life, they might even join forces to bring you down. But if the Almighty has said yes, their efforts become worthless. That is why we should never put our faith in human approval alone. Human beings are limited, their vision is small, their power is temporary, and their control over anything is only by the permission of the one who created them. Think about it. When the Almighty decides to bless someone, He opens doors that no one even knew existed. He brings opportunities from places you never expected. He changes people's hearts in ways you cannot imagine. The same people who once turned away from you may come forward to help you. The same situations that seemed impossible suddenly fall into place. This is not coincidence, it is the power of the Almighty manifesting in your life. Sometimes we worry too much about what people think. We fear losing our job because of a boss. We feel anxious when someone criticizes us. We lose sleep over the opinion of society. But the truth is, none of them have control over your destiny, your wealth, your health, your relationships, your success. All of it lies in the hands of the one who created you. When He decides to give, no one can withhold. When He decides to open a door, no one can shut it. Even the challenges we face are under His command. A difficulty only remains until He commands it to leave. A blessing only arrives when He commands it to come. That is why trusting His plan brings so much peace. You realize that no enemy can harm you unless He allows it, and no friend can benefit you unless He decrees it. When you live with this understanding, you stop chasing people's approval and start seeking His pleasure instead. Because at the end of the day, when He says yes, no one on earth or in the heavens can ever say no. People often believe they hold power over the lives of others. A boss thinks your career depends on his signature. A teacher feels your grades rest entirely in her hands. A leader assumes your future is shaped by his approval. But the truth is, every single one of them is limited. Their authority stretches only as far as the Almighty allows. Nothing they say or do can ever escape His command. When He decrees something for you, no human being can overturn it, no matter how powerful they seem in the eyes of the world. Sometimes we face situations where people reject us, where doors close in our faces, where those we thought would help us suddenly walk away. It feels like the whole world is against us. But what we forget is that their no means nothing if the Almighty has already written a yes for us. People can only act according to the role the Almighty has assigned them. If He wants them to assist you, He will soften their hearts. If He wants to protect you from harm, He may turn them away so that you are not hurt by what lies ahead. This is why we must stop placing our trust entirely in human beings. Yes, we work hard, we respect people, we try our best, but at the end of the day, our success is not in their hands. The one who truly controls our destiny is far above them. He knows the unseen, He sees what lies ahead when we cannot. He understands what we need even when we beg for something else. And when He chooses to give, He does so in ways that leave no doubt it came from Him alone. You might have noticed how sometimes help comes from the most unexpected sources. A stranger shows up to assist you. An opportunity opens from a place you never imagined. A problem solves itself without you lifting a finger. That is the Almighty showing you that people's power is nothing compared to His. They can plan, they can scheme, but they cannot overrule His will. When He decides to grant, the entire world together cannot take it away. Before any great blessing comes into our lives, there is often a period of waiting, struggling, and enduring difficulties that test us in ways we never expected. It can feel confusing at times. If the Almighty wants to bless us, why put us through hardship first? But when you look deeper, you realize these tests are not meant to break you, they are meant to prepare you. A blessing given too soon can be taken for granted, but a blessing received after struggle is cherished, valued, and used wisely. Think about it. When a farmer plants seeds, he doesn't expect the harvest overnight. There is a period of watering, waiting, protecting the crops from storms, and nurturing them patiently. Only after the right season does the harvest come in abundance. Life works the same way. The Almighty sometimes delays what we want because He is shaping us into the kind of people who can handle the responsibility that comes with His blessings. Without the test, we might misuse the gift. Wealth without humility can lead to arrogance. Power without wisdom can lead to corruption. Success without gratitude can lead to pride. The period of testing strips away our impatience, polishes our character, and teaches us lessons we would never learn if everything came easily. It brings us closer to Him, makes us rely on Him, and reminds us that our strength alone is not enough. We need His help every step of the way. Many of the greatest people in history endured their hardest trials before receiving their greatest victories. Prophets, leaders, and scholars all faced moments when life seemed unbearably heavy. Yet those very tests prepared them for the roles they were destined to play. The same applies to us today. The challenges we face may feel like obstacles, but they are actually stepping stones. Sometimes the no we hear today is only clearing the path for a bigger yes tomorrow. The rejection you feel might be protecting you from something harmful, or it might be building the strength you need to handle the blessing when it arrives. Without the test, we might never appreciate the blessing. With the test, the blessing becomes a gift we treasure deeply and use with gratitude. One of the most challenging things in life is waiting for the right moment. We live in a world where everything feels rushed: fast food, instant messages, same day deliveries. We expect our prayers to be answered with the same speed, but the Almighty works with perfect wisdom, not with human impatience. What we see as a delay is often His way of preparing the right circumstances for the blessing to arrive at exactly the right time. Sometimes we beg for something we are not ready to handle. We think we need it now, but the reality is that if it were given too soon, it might harm us rather than help us. The Almighty knows this, so He holds it back until the time is right. Think of a child asking to drive a car. The car is a good thing, but if given too early, it can be dangerous. Similarly, a blessing given before we are ready might become a burden rather than a gift. Trusting His timing requires faith. It means believing that every delay has a reason, even if we cannot see it right now. There are moments in life when doors remain closed no matter how hard we knock, only for those same doors to open later with ease. When that happens, we often realize why the wait was necessary. Maybe other things in our lives had to align first. Maybe certain people had to leave our path so that we could move forward peacefully. Maybe our hearts needed to grow stronger before carrying the weight of success. The truth is, what comes easily is rarely valued, but what arrives after patience carries far greater meaning. It teaches us gratitude. It reminds us that the blessing came not because of our own power, but because of His mercy at the right time. When we trust His timing, we stop panicking over delays and start living with peace in our hearts. We understand that no amount of rushing will bring His decree sooner, and no amount of waiting will make us miss it when it finally comes. His timing is never early, never late. It is always perfect. When the blessings you prayed for finally arrive, the real test begins. Many people cry out to the Almighty in moments of need, but once the door opens and the difficulty is removed, they slowly forget the one who granted it. Gratitude is not just saying thank you with our tongues, it is living in a way that reflects appreciation through our actions, our humility, and our obedience to the one who gave us what we asked for. When you receive a blessing, it is easy to think it came because of your own intelligence, your hard work, or your efforts alone. Yes, we must work hard, but never forget that countless people work just as hard yet do not receive the same opportunities. The difference lies in His will. He chooses when, how, and to whom to give. A heart filled with gratitude recognizes this and remains humble no matter how big the blessing. Gratitude protects the blessing. When we are thankful, we attract even more goodness into our lives. The Almighty promises that if we are grateful, He will increase us in blessings, but if we are ungrateful, we risk losing what we have. That is why gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a shield that guards the favors we receive. It keeps arrogance, pride, and carelessness away. True gratitude also changes how we use what we are given. If you are blessed with wealth, you help those in need. If you are blessed with knowledge, you share it with others. If you are blessed with health, you use your strength to serve good causes. A thankful heart understands that blessings are not meant to be hoarded but shared, because they are gifts on loan from the Almighty, not possessions we own forever. Moreover, gratitude keeps the heart soft. It reminds us that nothing is guaranteed. Today's health, wealth, or happiness can disappear tomorrow, so we live with humility, knowing that the one who gave can take it away whenever He wills. When we remain grateful, the blessings become a means of drawing closer to Him rather than distracting us from Him, and that is when they truly bring peace and happiness. Rejection is one of the hardest experiences in life. Whether it is losing a job, being turned down for an opportunity, or facing people who refuse to support you, it can feel like the entire world is closing its doors. But rejection is not always a sign of failure. Sometimes it is the Almighty's way of protecting you from something you cannot see, or guiding you towards something far better than what you were hoping for. When people say no, it hurts. We question ourselves, we wonder why things did not work out, and we sometimes feel abandoned. But faith teaches us that nothing happens without a reason. The delay, the setback, or the rejection is part of a bigger plan we cannot yet understand. Often, the same no that broke your heart today becomes the reason you find a greater blessing tomorrow. Life has a way of revealing in hindsight that what we thought was a loss was actually a gift in disguise. Sometimes rejection redirects our path. We may be chasing something that is not good for us, whether it is a relationship, a job, or a dream we think will make us happy. The Almighty knows what we cannot see. He knows what lies ahead. He knows the dangers, the heartbreaks, and the disappointments we would face if we got everything we asked for. So when He allows a door to close, it is not to harm us, but to guide us towards something better. Faith in the face of rejection means trusting that the author of your story knows every chapter before you live it. It means believing that closed doors are often a form of protection, even if they feel like punishment at the time. It means holding on to hope when nothing seems to make sense. With faith, you learn to say, if it was good for me, it would have happened. If it didn't, something better is on its way. That mindset gives you peace even when things do not go according to plan. Because deep down, you know the one who wrote your destiny will never withhold what is truly meant for you, no matter how many people try to stand in the way. If you want, I can now create the SEO-friendly description, timestamps with emojis, hashtags, keywords, and tags for the full speech, so it's ready for social media posting. Would you like me to do that? My brothers and sisters, when we reflect on everything we've spoken about, His power above all, the limits of human control, the tests before blessings, the importance of trusting His timing, living with gratitude and keeping faith even when rejected, one truth stands firm. When the Almighty says yes, no one on earth and no power in the heavens can ever say no. His decree is final, His wisdom is perfect, and His plan is always for our ultimate good, even when we cannot see it at first. So walk through life with faith in your heart, do your best, pray sincerely, and trust His plan completely. When doors close, know He is redirecting you. When blessings come, show gratitude. And when life tests you, be patient. Because the one who writes your story never makes a mistake. When He says yes, the entire universe aligns to make it happen, and no force in existence can stand in the way of what He has decreed for you.